discombobulated this morning. Good morning, boys and girls, friends, enemies, and those who have no idea who or what they are. God bless all of you. Well, folks, back on the bike, and I had an interesting question posed to me. One of my neighbours said, if you'd known all the trouble you were going to have, would you have bought it? That leaves us open to some questions, doesn't it? So I thought about it. Now, the most recent job with the forks, and as happens, you have a pyramid of owners. You have the first owners who love and caress their vehicles. Then you have the next few who sort of look after a bike in their own way. And then you work your way down to the bottom end where you get the gorilla, the psychotic monkey, whatever. They find some spanners and they think, oh whoopee, let's go and mangle this bike. That was evident on the forks. Now, bearing in mind she's done 70, when I bought her she'd done 70 I forgot to pump my brakes out. Just pulled the lever and there was bugger all there. That was a rookie mistake, wasn't it? That was a heart stopper. Thank God I still got the back brake. Obviously had the discs off and I'd forgotten to pump the pads back out. Whoopee, that got the adrenaline going. Hee hee. Where was I? Yes, when I took the forks off, the second I removed the end caps, one of the nuts was rounded beyond belief. It was just a round nut. That took an hour to get off. Some fine chiseling and swearing. The other one on the left come out with the stud that goes into the slider. That had to be changed. So, apart from the seals, dust covers, etc. and the oil, I also ordered some new nuts. And don't we all like a pair of new nuts? That took a couple of days to arrive, but that couple of days were raining, so I wasn't bothered. Now, when I tipped the oil out, there were two different quantities. The same oil, so somebody had found a way to fill one of the legs. Anyway, it's all been put back together properly. And I look back over the other few issues. Solidifying oil in the rear suspension, the rear drive unit never having had an oil change. Needing a hydraulic chain, cam chain tensioner. This guy's in a hurry to get to Mersey, methinks. rid of him. Now I've found along the way lots of chewed nuts, bolts. Some ham-fisted moron has sort of been through it. And bearing in mind I picked her up at 73,000 miles, 75, sorry. Now if you work that back over ownership, that's about 3,500 miles a year. So that's about average. It's alright, I'm just trying the front forks out, make sure they feel as good as they could. And they do. So if I went back to the dealership right now and stood in front of this bike, knowing all the bits I've had to do, and I'm sure all the bits I'll still have to do, would I buy it again? And that got me thinking about my other bikes, because I am a mere pauper. In the last 15 years, well, 12 and a half years on state pension, I've had to be very careful, and I've only bought old machines. I had the original Squeak, I had the KTM, and now I've got this, and they were all abused by somebody in their history. And part of it is I do actually enjoy tinkering with them. I enjoy the challenge of resolving other people's cock-ups. Sorry, I meant faux pas. Excuse me. And with Squeak, well, she needed a lot done, but I knocked her up to about 150,000 miles from 80. The KTM, I put about 5,000 miles on her. 6. And she needed constant maintenance. And bearing in mind that BMWs around the world are frequently coming up with 100,000 miles on their second time around the clock. And the old adage is, until they've hit sort of 100,000, they're not run in. Still haven't got to the answer, have I? I'm getting there. When I looked round, I knew there'd be problems. I missed him. There were obvious signs of a butcher. Having been at play on it. And listening to the engine, yeah, I could hear that the throttle body had gone, and the dealership gentlemen, they replaced it. So from that moment on, I knew why the owner had got rid of it. And there would be other rattles and other things, and I think the throttle body was probably the final straw, or another sound he heard that I haven't yet heard, that I may yet hear. So I knew there would be spanner work to do. Because I enjoyed spanner work, it just made me grin. So if I walked back in the dealership today and saw this bike, Holland season, would I still hand over a couple of grand? Oh yes, definitely. In between the moments of throwing spanners and screwdrivers and things at it, I've enjoyed the riding of it. Apart from these bloody tyres. Although in the dry they seem to behave quite well. Spare parts? I haven't spent a fortune. It's been nuts, bolts, washers, oils. The most expensive thing was that blinking can chain tensioner. That was expensive. Other than that, we haven't spent a ginormous on it. A ginormous amount on it. I will try English. Failing that, I'll start speaking bloody German. Yeah, I haven't spent a ginormous amount, which is all very good because my pension doesn't really allow me to spend that much. That's the other thing. Conservative criminals, our government. Food, petrol, nearly everything's gone up between 40 and 50%. Pensions are going up 10%. Pensions that we've paid into. I worked hard all my life and I've paid all my contributions. And while the cost of everything is going up 50%, I'm getting 10%. I honestly think the entire government should be arrested and prosecuted for grand theft or larceny. I'm on a rant, aren't I? Sorry. The answer to my question is yeah, I'd buy her again. 3 times over. I'm enjoying the journey of rediscovering the pleasure of riding them from my original. And I'm enjoying the pleasure of tinkering. I'm not really a polisher, which is a good job. Yeah, she's got a few rusty nuts on her. A couple of the spokes have dechromed. Some people think that they're rusty. 9 times out of 10 they've just dechromed a little bit. But they're still substantial. Those heated grips on. It's getting chillier. Rusty nuts and bolts. Am I going to buy a whole set of nuts and bolts just to please the eye? No, because I use it all year round. Well, why turn there, you docile bugger? You could have turned... Oh. Some people don't make sense, do they? It's a triangle junction. He could have turned right in the first one earlier. I think I'm going to have to stop doing vlogs. I end up moaning. I'm a pensioner. I am entitled to mumble. Yeah, there's been no pain with the bike, even when I found something wrong with it. It's just been parts catalogue, order the bits, wait for them to come. I use a company called Motobins, or Motorworks. Motobins, oh I can't remember. Motorworks? Brilliant for parts. If you get in there before about 3 o'clock, the parts will arrive the next day. They're brilliant guys. And they package things up well. Your parts arrived undamaged, uncreased. deal with this one was I ordered the oil for the forks, and 24 hours later out of stock, so I ordered it from somewhere else. 2-day delivery. Of course that's a total of 3 days. That's slightly niggles, offset by the fact it was piddling down. Anyway, that's it. I would buy this bike again, knowing what I know. I am thoroughly enjoying it. 3 months in. I put 3,000 miles on it. It's not bad going, is it? If I carry on at 1,000 a month, which with my riding lanes, going to visit sister, occasional jaunts up to Scarborough, yeah, that's about right, about 10-12,000 miles a year. Anyway, I'm going to stop down here. There's a little coffee shop, and I'm going to annoy them and have a cup of tea and something sweet and nice. You guys have a nice day, have a nice week, have a nice life. Remember to smile, even if you don't feel like it. Smiling might brighten somebody else's day. Bye.